multi-exclusive dimensional being Kai with another exclusive. Today's video is going to be about the Sun and Libra, which is a 30-day aspect of us all collaborating with people, places, and things, or rather we doing this with ourselves. We need to find some kind of practicality and cardinal fire actions when we're dealing with the sun in Libra. And basically, when the sun is in Libra, we need to be more relative, more relatable, having more justifications, having more purifications. We can't be into the state of seeing things at a broad perspective as somebody being lost into space. Is the time to basically, relate to people, help them, and basically uplift them, whether they do with somebody or not with somebody. So there's a time to look out for them. And of course, the moon is in Capricorn today as we speak. When the moon is in Capricorn, we're going to be reacting and responding to ways of being more practical in life, upholding our status, our career, our goals, being more ambitious, having more relatively, especially with relying on people, places, and things, not being too overburdened by obstacles or basically picking up other people's places in life. But being a father figure or mother figure, this is the time to basically act out on these natures and add this energetic force that we basically going to be reciprocating, and we need to basically practicalize this and basically be more stable when we're dealing with an earth sign. So this is cardinal earth. So we got cardinal air and we got cardinal earth. So basically, air is like the opposite side of the feminine side, which is basically dealing with the waters. And of course, motherfucking earth is the opposite side of basically dealing with more of the water element. So of course, when we got air is the opposite of fire, earth is the opposite of water. So okay, so these two, so these days until today's the 23rd, so to the 26th until the moon go into Aquarius, which is another side of air. We need to be acting more into the natures of basically being more practical and being more serious, not too serious to the point you're too stiff and narrow. Make sure you smile. Make sure you actually utilize and having clarity and clairvoyance when you go out through your day-to-day purpose for me. But actually, making sure you haven't taken care of your duties and responsibilities during these 3 days. And of course, we need to be doing this every day, not just because the moon's in Capricorn, but when the moon is in Capricorn, the influences is here. And of course, these are spirits and bodies that's basically gravitating towards that, into you being able to move left or right, or basically have more structure in your life, of course. But we about to get into these energies, about to break down the sun. Well, I'm about to break down the moon and the all signs, and basically we're gonna see what's going on, see what kind of energy challenge people, places, and things, and from the Aries to Pisces to Zodiac signs, and the moon, a reflection of how you receive these things. So off rip, sun square moon. So this basically playing this. It's the first quarter move during this time. So you're gonna be seeing reflecting if you was playing good seeds during the new moon, or basically you're gonna be reciprocating this energy and see if things is not going into your favor. So if you was playing good seeds during this time, you're gonna start to slowly but surely see things start gravitating to your walls, gravitating towards you. And if you didn't, you were basically playing bad seeds. You're not putting in the work. You're not putting in the time. You're procrastinating. Basically, you're staying stuck into a routine pattern, which is a rut. You need to get the fuck out of that rut and be focused and take shit very serious during this time too. You need to be more inclined with your feelings and emotions and express these things. Also, we got Mercury opposing Mars. So basically, putting thoughts into action during this time. So this is opposing energy. So be careful how the way we think and communicate is gonna be a little opposite towards our self-expressions. For me, because motherfucking Mercury don't. I mean, Mercury governs motherfucking Earth, which is basically dealing with a motherfucking Virgo, which Virgo season we just left. Also, it's compatible with Gemini. So there's ways to work through this. But when we talking Virgo, it's not really compatible. For me, Mars like to be in a fire sign. I don't like to be in a motherfucking air sign, even though it's basically opposite of it. But they want the basic fire. Fire don't want to get attached to shit. Fire just want to burn, just keep it moving. So air is basically interacting with people. Fire just want to fire and burn shit, basically. So putting your thoughts into actions during the time is basically important. So the way you think is how you create your own reality, whatever you're striving for. So if you're playing good seeds, you know what to expect. If you're playing bad seeds, you're gonna expect the bad out of it, the bad fire. Also, we got Mercury square Saturn. So this basically having mental stiffness during this time. We may not be able to actually come up with new ideas and shit, but basically have some clarity, have some clairvoyance, to put your mind and focus towards expansion during this time. So you don't want to be basically stuck into a rut. You want to make sure you expand that mind, expand your brain. The spirit don't like to be stiff. The spirit like to move. The spirit like to expand. So we need to come up with new ways to basically think, practicalize our ways, and having more stability. Also, we got Mars squares Saturn. So your passion to drive or have balance is going to basically be externalized towards this point. So try to be more practical and be more ambitious. For me, it's one thing, Mars like to basically go ahead of things and be impulsive, and of course Saturn like to think things out and basically take time through with these things. But you don't want to be too stiff. For me, you want to basically have balance. For me, act out on your natures and basically practicalize these things and be consistent too, and try not to have any guilt or worries during this time too. And when we talk about Saturn, that's limitations and restrictions. So if you're not taking care of your duties and responsibilities, it comes with consequences as far as health issues that can basically become life threatening. But it ain't necessarily always health issues. Basically, you remember, you ain't the body before it, and you ain't gonna be the body when you leave it. So you gotta basically penetrate and pinpoint these things where they come from. So if you're not acting on the natures, you're gonna receive reciprocations and protocols if you need to basically take this into consideration. Also, we got Jupiter sextile Neptune. So this basically dealing with personal expansion, being more assertive throughout your day-to-day life and shit. Feel me? And going through experiences as far as helping people, places, and things, getting off their lazy motherfucking asses. Also, we got Sun trine Saturn, so we're gonna be seeing our personal duties and grounding during this time. We need to take more experiences as far as being more consistent and being more self efficient during this time too. Also, we got Sun opposing Chiron, so this basically seeing trauma through your day to day life, as far as you learn how to do the art of resistance and not taking on these experiences. Or this could be for the better for you to basically remember these things so it won't basically remind you of basically putting yourself back into a circumstance situation or repeating that shit. Also, we got Moon sextile Mercury, so our subconscious and the way we think logically is basically a harmonious aspect during this time. So our expressions, our feelings and emotions, which is our moon, and the way we think, which is our masculine, is basically intertwining with each other at a good point. So you want to basically make sure you utilize both of your vessels to practicalize or bring things into existence, as far as having self passionate during this time, being more self efficient. And also, we got Moon sextile Mercury. Well, yeah, we got Moon trine Mars. So this basically having corporations with emotions and passions during this time. We're gonna feel the need to basically go after and strive for what we want. Or we may still have issues with other people that's basically gonna experience this, but they may not experience this right away. But they're gonna basically see this through other people, and the universe gonna work through these people to show these people you need to get out that stagnation mode and basically put more effort into what you want to basically accomplish. Feel me? Don't be too passive. Also, Mercury square Pluto. So this basically surroundings of thoughts, hidden agendas, and things that's basically that was hidden. It will surface and reoccur. It could be dark energies or it could be positive energies, depending on what seeds you was planting. Also, Mars square Pluto. So this basically dealing with more of a way of deep emotional power and control issues, as far as not being too mixy, because Mars square Pluto, that's also death and transformation, that's also rebirth, regeneration, that's also power and control, so willpower too. So you may be taking power and control over by being guilty by association, so don't be mixy during this time. For me, know where to be, know where not to be. Learn clock astrology. Also, we got Saturn conjunct Pluto, so this basically dealing with our way of self-careers and values and power shackles that we need to basically take time and to take control and value these things and watch over these things, and basically get rid of any contaminants that we holding back. We need to take power and control over the way we see society as well too. Or our own society gonna take over this motherfucking. It's gonna be motherfucking Nazi Germany. This motherfucker. Also, we got Neptune sextile Pluto. So this basically eliminating surroundings or locations that they get the communications as far as what we was dealing with, or things that we're gonna basically be able to put a transformation towards, things that was holding back our spirituality. Because Jesus ain't coming to save you, motherfucker. So you need to believe in your motherfucking self. Also, we got Sun trine Pluto. So this basically did a self transformation through new experiences and shit. So you need basically the Sun to experience, and you need Pluto to transform, so you can basically have more experience and more optimistic in ways of valuing your life. So you can't have one without the other. You can't have a heaven without hell, because the heaven can become a hell. Because it's like, damn, yo, it's the only thing to do. We want to expand. We want to move around. That's the whole purpose of time travel. Also, we got Moon trine Venus. So basically, our way of expanding and relating with communication and feeling and emotions is basically, is a good matter at this time. Try not to get lost and caught up into soul ties during this time too, because this can take shape and form too. Or a past partner might come back. Also, we got Moon trine Uranus. So this basically dealing with new experiences as far as emotional insight and emotional awareness during this time. It's a good time to basically reflect this and put this into practice. Also, we got Moon square Chiron. So it's basically dealing with conflict with emotional healing and issues with home private matter issues as far as things you might get into arguments with your parents during this time, or these things might resurface and reappear. Watch out for that. Try not to get too lost into that. Also, we got Venus trine Mars, so that's basically daily experiences. Daily experiences. What or you might try to basically be with somebody that has motherfucking children and shit. And you don't care about the baby father being to a place where you may be acting impulsively and just basically just loving the pussy during this time, and you just get lost. Be aware of that shit too. We also got Jupiter conjunct Saturn, so that's basically that I have a balance through luck and guilt during this time as far as being guilty about our career and goals. You don't want to basically be guilty about that. You want to make sure these shits is coming to existence and play down to your actual natures. Also, we got Jupiter trine Uranus, so it's basically having balanced experience through self uniqueness. So the way we think in unconventional ways will be basically participating. Of course, our belief system will basically take shape and form, which how we look at spirituality or religion or whatever the fuck you in. Get out of that religion shit though. Also, we got Jupiter conjunct Pluto, so it's basically dealing with faith and and looking, locking up with emotions and going through and having patience in your life during this time, and looking over things that you need to change or revolve over. And that's pretty much it. Now, when we talking about Sagittarius through the houses basically the how it's basically playing out in everybody's life. Now, playing out through signs is basically how it's going to affect you. So when we talking about Saturn in the first house, basically you're going to have self-guilt and anxiety about other people, places, and things moving on in life as far as how they in a position and go. Try to focus on you first and try not to worry about other people, because when you do that shit, that's where you come up with all kind of headaches and shit with health issues as far as that. Of course, when you got this area, seriousness and freshness of new starts and new beginnings will basically play into your existence. And of course, if you got a moon in Aries, you're gonna be pushing out, playing out the energies of receiving this energy. Also, when we talk about Saturn in the second house, basically dealing with values and difficulties of gaining possessions. And if this is in Taurus, you're gonna have fears over losing people, places, and things that you value. And if this is your moon in Taurus, you're gonna be receiving this energy. And when we got we got Saturn and motherfucking Gemini, surroundings and locations of being too cold and stiff. Try to be aware of things. And of course, when you got Taurus, you gotta watch out for the neck. Try not to overeat. Also, when you got Gemini, basically, this is basically watching for people, places, things. Listen to people, places, things. Try not to be too naive. Try not to look at people as gossipy and shit, because you may play out the natures of being naive and things may work out to your favor. So, and also, if you got a moon in Gemini, you're gonna be being gossip and being naive to shit, depending on how you was planting seeds. If you got this in Saturn and Capricorn, Saturn fourth house, private home matters and stiffness and caring and nourishing. So fucking Cancer don't really fuck with this Saturn shit. So when this is in Cancer, not being open or basically fearing of being too open and nourishing during this time and shit. So you want to basically protect your home matters and shit and try to be more harmonious and not too serious and stiff. You may have health issues during this time with the way you dealing with your reproductive system as far as what you put in and push out. Also, we talking about motherfucking Saturn in the fifth house, basically dealing with self obligations and self restrictions. So you don't feel the need to basically not be too open, because fucking Leo don't even fuck with Saturn like that too. Leo want to be free of all fucking restrictions. Leo want to do whatever the fuck he want to do. But if you got Saturn here, you just gonna have that extra curriculum energy that's gonna basically try to put obstacles in your way. So when we talk about Leo, Saturn and Leo is basically dealing with guilt, worries of not being praised or being too open. So try not to look into that perspective of you basically being overlooked by you not being too open during this time. For me, don't try to, don't have any don't have any insecurities during this time. For me, find ways to be practical and shit. Or come up with an organization of a home charity for children and type shit. Or basically open a school or some shit. Or have kids come to you or teach kids during this time. For me, because I love kids and you always gonna reciprocate that energy back. So be aware of that. If you got a moon in Leo, you're gonna be receiving this kind of energy as far as people coming towards you and basically reflecting this back. If you got motherfucking Saturn and motherfucking 6th house, this is basically dealing with dirty work health issues and being a workaholic. So try not to basically take on too much you can't handle, because during the time, especially if you was playing bad seeds, you're gonna be receiving all kind of reciprocations and anxiety and worry during this time, and basically it's gonna fuck up your nervous system to the point you might just fucking be too nervous, be too overwhelming and shit, so you might be depressed, you might just have fucked up health issues during this time. Also, when you got this in Virgo, basically taking on too much obstacles and shit and basically being too open during this time and serving others, you might feel the need to basically, take on a whole lot of overtime or give overtime to people and shit during this time. They may be trying to ask for too much during this time. So have some restrictions during this time for people, places, and things, as seeing you as a motherfucking crutch. For me, you don't gotta have fixation of everything. Things may not always go into your favor. Don't try to over worry or stress about these things. You got a moon in Virgo, you're gonna be receiving this energy right back. It's a reflection. Also, when you got motherfucking Saturn in the 7th house, it's basically having balance and relating with your partnerships. If you got this in Libra, you not to be too naive and shit, feel me? Not everybody gotta work a 9 to 5 to make money or basically do things in life or basically how you see people in this world. For me, you might just connect with somebody that may not even have a 9 to 5, and they just might just put you in a circumstance situation if you're not having to work a 9 to 5. So don't be naive during this time. If you got a moon in Libra, you're gonna be receiving this kind of energy right back. Also, when you got motherfucking Saturn and motherfucking 8th house, this is basically dealing with deep, deep. This is a conjunction right here too. So this is basically dealing with fears and guilt and worry of basically being too open and during this time and shit changes, and you may feel off or have deep expression that you don't want to express towards people. Try not to do that neither. Try not to be too stiff and shit. Try to trust somebody and have some kind of partner that you can basically have intimate relationships with, or you might just need a sex buddy to basically try to heal all the traumas and shit that you're gonna be dealing with. Because Scorpios, they get attacked by the dark energy and shit. So if you got a Scorpio, you got Saturn and Scorpio, you're gonna be receiving this all kind of reciprocations of this shit. But you may be going through many transformations as far as your career issues and personal affairs and shit. The way you deal with your life, especially values too. If you got a motherfucking moon and motherfucking Scorpio, you're gonna be receiving this energy right the fuck back. You may feel the need to basically be worrying and shit. You may feel the need to try to connect with people or try to be open or basically try to be out there, try to get away, try to travel type shit. Don't let motherfucking restrictions and limitations block you though. Feel me? Don't let that motherfucking guilt program or that stiffness or that motherfucking anxiety or worry block you. Make sure you basically put yourself out there. Not too out there though. But try to like understand and understand that your thoughts, feelings, emotions ain't yours. You need to question these things. You need to re-examine shit. Feel me? Get that motherfucking pen and paper and just whatever you're feeling, write it down on paper, and keep track of the time of where you receiving this infant energy, so you can basically redirect and attack this shit and basically put it out there. Also, when you got motherfucking Scorpio and motherfucking 9th house, basically dealing with a philosophical point of views of having fate. This is also a conjunction. So basically, you gotta have a practical mind. You gotta have new experiences shit during this time too. For me, try not to be too stagnated and shit. Try not to be too stiff. Try not to be too hard. For me, try to like expand your mind and come up with new ways of doing things and having more experiences. Being more open to new experience. When we talk about Saturn and Sagittarius, if you got a moon Sagittarius, you're gonna be reciprocating this need to basically experience or basically be out there and shit. Because when it's the Sun and Saturn, these are the actions that you're gonna participate in. If you got a moon and if you got a moon Sagittarius and you dealing with the Saturn energy, basically this is gonna be a reflection of you feeling the need to basically have new experiences, to basically have a new practical mind and belief system or morals, or having the philosophical point of view, or you may get into debates too during this time too, and you may not see the way how others see you, and you might be too vulnerable during this time. So try to avoid that. And of course, when we talk about Saturn, this is when you got an Earth sign. This is double the energy and shit. Remember, cardinal is motherfucking Saturn. Fixed is motherfucking Taurus, and motherfucking mutable is motherfucking Virgo. Now, when we talk about Saturn in the 10th house, a public persona is basically what you're going to be working on. Taking on responsibilities way too much, or try to overburden yourself during this time. You don't want to basically do that, because you may take on too many career goals or too many opportunities to the point it may just overwhelm you and shit. So you don't want to take on too much double energies. Also, you're going to also, when we got this in Saturn and Capricorn, you're going to feel the need not to basically give up on failure. You're going to do whatever you want to do to make sure you don't put yourself in that circumstance situation. You might do whatever. You might fucking rob somebody. You might kill somebody and shit if they look at you wrong type shit. Or you might go to the extend to basically fuck around and try to move from point A to point B in your life. Don't do this, because a lot of people that's had Saturn energy or had Saturn sons, they went through this circumstance situation, and some of them died and shit. They was too stiff. They didn't have no joy or nothing in their life. And you don't gotta fucking look at things like an Earth perspective. Especially Earth signs. This may be hard talking and explaining this shit to y'all, but the spirit created all this shit. So once you get spiritual, everything else can work into your favor. You ain't gotta look at society saying, "Oh, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, you gotta do that." Try to loosen up. Clear your mind, meditate. Get some rest. Tomorrow's a better day. Tomorrow will always be a better day too. And as long as you got that same commitment and same force drive, you ain't got to worry about that shit, Capricorn. If you got a moon in Capricorn, you're going to be receiving this energy to basically not to allow yourself to be into failure mode. So, yeah, this may be a hard time for Capricorns. Motherfucking Jupiter is in Capricorn. So, this is the fall of spirituality type shit. And if you ain't spiritually inclined, you ain't got yourself during this time, you're going to be fucking dealing with spiritual warfare. You're going to come back here and repeat the same shit, because God and the universe is going to be sitting back and be like, "Oh, nah, this motherfucker not ready. Nah, you got to try again, motherfucker. Try to get spiritual this time, but not too serious and shit." So you might come back, to the point you might overstress, you might have mental health issues during this time. Oh, yeah. Geminis, y'all gonna have fucking issues with your anxiety, your lungs and shit. Cancer, you're gonna have anxiety with your stomach, your feelings, emotions. Leos, you might have heart issues and shit during this time. Motherfucking Virgo, you're gonna have issues with anxiety also too, and especially with your reproductive system. Also, Libra, you might have, Libra, you might have kidney issues. Scorpio, you might have fucking issues with your fucking lower areas as far as the dick, the pussy, some shit like that, or you just may basically be in your natures and shit. And of course, motherfucking Sagittarius, you're gonna have issues with your hips, your legs, and your thighs during this time. Capricorn gonna fuck shit up if y'all ain't paying attention to these ways of where you need to basically resonate yourself and like to. Also, check your house where you got Capricorn at, because that's where you're gonna be receiving this energy. So it may not reflect that certain area that I'm basically talking about, but it's gonna have sensitivity during this time too, during these areas too. If you got Capricorn, you're gonna basically have issues with your teeth, your knees, and your bones. You might get arthritis because you too fucking stiff. You ain't smiling nothing. You taking life too serious, You a tree. You're not moving. And basically, that's how you going to look at your life and your career, as a tree, shit not moving. Like, what's going on? To the point you might just chop it down. The only way for that tree to move is basically by the wind. And of course, shit takes time to be reciprocated down here when you're in third dimension. Especially if you ain't vibrating high enough, you ain't going to see shit fall into your motherfucking lap. You're going to look at shit differently during this time. So, yeah, take the shit very serious. Also, when we motherfucking talk about Aquarius, it's basically, Aquarius is also a little bit of Capricorn too, but it got its own co-ruler as far as motherfucking Uranus. So it's kind of like an out of a planet, but you still got your experiences and the way you do things down here too. And also, because motherfucking Uranus would be the sun aspect, and motherfucking Capricorn would be the cold aspect as far as the night falls. So Capricorn is cold in winter, so that's how I would look at it, motherfucker. Also, when you talk about motherfucking the 11th house, This is basically dealing with goals and growth and fears of obligations during this time. So you may feel the need to basically take on a whole lot of duties and obligations dealing with your visionary purposes, group goals, and all kind of shit that you may try to be wanting to get into. But you may look at the skepticism side of it and may not basically have no jurisdiction as far as no belief, no growth, no passion going on. Of course, when you got this in Aquarius, you're gonna have restrictions dealing with society and stiffness during this time. As far as you may feel the need, you may have regrets or guilt dealing with people or fucking getting close to people. And don't be naive during this time because the sun is a Libra, so we need this, and we need this. We're in the age of so-called Aquarius, so we need Aquarius. Basically, we need y'all to basically get up off y'all comfort zones, not be too detached during this time. Everybody may not fucking be in a circumstance situation of being lost and shit, and you may need people to try to basically see your way of basically detaching from the world, or you may be a role model to the point too, or you may basically learn from somebody else during this time to basically be more open and shit with how you present yourself, for me, or you just depend on that. If you got a moon in Aquarius too, you're gonna be receiving this kind of energy as far as how you need to go, as far as where you need to start to where you need to be open and basically be inclined to other shit as far as where it's gonna get you from point A to point B, point C. And last but not motherfucking least, when you got motherfuckers Capricorn and motherfucking Pisces, you're gonna be reacting and responding to dreams, imagination, and fantasies and those school. Also, this can be your worst nightmare during this time too, because this is basically dealing with fears of the unconscious. So whatever you was carrying in your past life is following you right now. As far as what you were scared to do, as far as what you didn't do, as far as having motherfucking lack of commitment, and lack of faith, lack of passion, lack of spirituality. Also, when you got this motherfucker in Pisces, it's basically lack of fear. Like basically, you're not taking life serious. You're looking at a broader perspective. You're being attacked by spirits and demons that you do not question. And when you don't question shit, you don't get answers. You can't just go with the aspect of, oh, I'm being attacked. Oh, these are my feelings, emotions. Oh, I don't want to be too open. Oh, you just be denying all kind of help that comes your motherfucking way. And you cannot be doing that shit, Pisces. You need to be strong. Feel me? You need to you need to tap into yourself. You need to battle these inner demons. You need to kill all the shit out your soul, out your subconscious, your unconscious too. And you gotta understand that you're carrying this energy with you. But of course, this shit is gonna be reciprocated down. And the more you keep paying attention to that dark cloud, the moment you don't basically shoot that motherfucker and go to the spiritual gym and basically uplift that shit off your motherfucking heart, it's gonna take you right back to your grave. You're gonna basically get that motherfucker karma, which is the 12th house and Pisces dealing with karma. So you don't want to basically be reciprocating that shit. You want to basically put death and transformation to that shit. You want to make sure karma is basically good karma, not bad karma. You don't be carrying all that baggage. But also, you got a moon in Pisces, you're going to be receiving it. So make sure you take care of that shit so you can basically move freely and not get caught up to the motherfucking fantasy and the lost illusion in this motherfucking world. Don't take life serious. Take your dreams and your goals serious and be in good spirits. And that shit going to reflect right back into you. Saturn and whoever the fuck you praise or into is going to make sure that shit come your way in every way, shape, and motherfucking form. And those are the motherfucking energies. Everybody get serious, get focused, and I love all y'all motherfuckers. You know that.